They walked through thousands of skulls until they reached the end of the cave. All we could find were thousands of skulls. How did they get here? Who were they? And why do they keep staring at us? Legend has it that the skulls belong to the indigenous people who once inhabited this region. Many years ago, these people worshipped the gods of the earth and the underworld. They left offerings for the gods in the caves, hoping that their prayers would be answered. But one day, the gods became angry with the humans. Perhaps they didn't receive enough offerings, or maybe they just got tired of the humans praying to them. Whatever the reason, the gods decided to punish the humans and steal their souls. As soon as the gods reached into the humans and pulled their souls from their bodies, the humans immediately died and their souls became trapped in the caves. The souls wandered around the caves for eternity, never able to move on to the afterlife. Some say the souls became so angry that they turned into evil spirits and began haunting the caves. Others say the spirits simply became trapped in the skulls of the dead, turning them into cursed artifacts. Sometime later, more people heard about the cave and its wonders and began exploring it. When they entered the cave, they were greeted by the sight of thousands of skulls staring back at them. Terrified, they fled the cave and told others about the cursed skulls. Soon, no one dared enter the cave. Many years passed and the skulls remained in the cave, slowly being covered by dirt and rock. Then, in 1992, a group of explorers rediscovered the cave. They found the skulls and realized that the cave had remained untouched for centuries. Today, visitors come from all over the world to see the Wall of Skulls, but many believe the skulls are cursed and bring bad luck to anyone who sees them. I started to feel uncomfortable. This place gave me the willies. Maybe it was the skulls, or maybe it was the darkness of the cave, but something about this place made me want to run away. The moment my fingers made contact with the cold, dry bone, a jolt of energy surged through my body. I pulled my hand back as if burned and stumbled away from the skull. My headlamp fell to the ground with a heavy thud. I watched in horror as the beam of light vanished in the pitch-black darkness. I couldn't believe what had just happened. The skull had reacted to my touch. Was it really cursed? And then I heard a voice behind me saying, "Are you all right?" Startled, I whirled around to see my guide. His face was creased with concern. I forced a smile onto my face and nodded. "I'm fine," I lied. But deep down, I knew something had changed. The cave seemed darker and the skulls seemed hungrier. We continued our journey deeper into the cave. The air grew colder and the silence was deafening. The only sound was the drip, drip, drip of water echoing in the vast cavern. Suddenly, I felt something brush against my leg. I jumped and spun around, but there was nothing there. My guide chuckled and said, "Don't worry, it's just the spiders. They're harmless." But I wasn't so sure. The spiders here are no ordinary spiders. They're tarantulas, and they're everywhere. They drop from the ceiling, crawl on the floor, and even climb on your face. I swatted at a spider that landed on my shoulder and it scuttled away. We finally reached the end of the tunnel and emerged into a vast cavern. The air was stale and heavy, and the only light came from my headlamp. I could feel the weight of hundreds of eyes boring into me. I slowly scanned the cavern and saw them. Thousands of skulls staring back at me. It was the most terrifying sight I had ever seen. The skulls were arranged in a circle around the room, and each one was grinning wickedly. I took a step back and tripped over something. I fell to the ground with a thud and landed right in front of one of the skulls. I stared up at the skull, and it stared back at me. Its teeth were bared in a silent snarl, and its eyes glowed with an eerie green light. I struggled to get to my feet, but the skull seemed to be holding me down. I screamed for help, but my voice echoed in the vast cavern and no one came to help me. Finally, I broke free and scrambled to my feet. I ran to my guide and begged him to help me escape the cave, but he just stood there grinning. He didn't seem to understand what I was saying. I don't know how long I spent in that cave, but eventually the visions in my head faded away, and I was left alone in the darkness with only the sound of dripping water for company. I sat down on a rock and closed my eyes, trying to forget the horrors I had seen. When I finally opened my eyes, I realized that I wasn't alone. My guide was standing in front of me, his face pale and his eyes wide with fear. He was pointing to the entrance of the cave and shaking his head frantically. I got up and followed him. We walked in silence until we reached the opening of the cave. As I stepped out into the sunlight, I felt weak and shaky. I had never been so happy to see daylight. I looked back at the cave and shuddered. I knew I would never forget what I had seen. And I also knew I would never go back. If you want to visit the cave yourself, be warned. Legend has it that those who enter the cave never come out the same. The Wall of Skulls is a powerful place and its secrets will stay with you forever. The cave is located in the Mexican state of Nuevo León, about 45 minutes north of the city of Monterrey. You can reach the cave by car or by bus. Once you arrive at the cave, you will need to hire a guide to take you through it. But before you go, make sure to follow these tips. First, bring plenty of water with you, as it can get very hot and humid inside the cave. Second, wear comfortable shoes, as you will be doing a lot of walking. Third, bring a flashlight, as the cave is very dark and you will need one to see anything. Fourth, be respectful of the cave and the skulls inside. Do not touch the skulls or try to take them with you. And fifth, be careful. The cave is very slippery and there are bats everywhere. So if you want to see the Wall of Skulls for yourself, just follow these tips and you'll be fine. Or maybe the legends are true and you won't come back the same ever.